I will love you.
And stand by you.
And stand by you.
As long as we both shall live.
As long as we both shall live.
Say hi, Cece. Say hi, Bells.
Hi, Bill.
No, you gotta say hi.
Hi.
In a case that has haunted America, Chris Watts went from a picture-perfect father to a cold-blooded killer. What began as a search for a missing family soon unraveled into a gruesome crime that left a community shattered and exposed the disturbing truth of what lies behind closed doors. In Frederick, Colorado, 34-year-old Shanann Watts was a mother full of life, known for her devotion to her family and her positive outlook. She worked for a health company, documenting her life on social media and sharing the highs and lows of her family life with Chris and their 2 young daughters. Her life appeared perfect on the outside, with a 3rd child on the way. In the early hours of August 13, 2018, Shanann returned from a work trip to Arizona, dropped off by a friend who noted nothing unusual. But later that day, she missed an important doctor's appointment and did not respond to calls or texts, prompting a welfare check by her friend.
Here, Nicole?
Yes.
Okay, so what's going on?
So my friend, we were out of town for a business trip this weekend.
All right.
And I dropped her off at 2 o'clock this morning. She's 15 weeks pregnant. And she wasn't feeling well. And she had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9. And I told her to let me know if she needed me to take her. She's got 2 little girls. And she was very distraught over the weekend, wasn't eating normally or drinking. And we kept trying to force it on her because she's pregnant. Her husband and her supposedly are separating, but she didn't know this. She thought it was I called him, and I was like, have you talked or heard from Shanann since she left for work this morning? Because I can't get a hold of her. I've called, I've texted. Her car's in the garage. Her shoes she wears every single day are by the front door.
She only has one vehicle?
No, they only have the one vehicle in his work truck.
Okay.
The police found Shanann's car, purse, and keys in the house. Yet Shanann and her daughters, Bella, 4, and Celeste, 3, were nowhere to be found. Chris Watts' behavior raises suspicions. Chris Watts, Shanann's husband, initially seemed cooperative, allowing police to search the house and even giving interviews to local news stations, pleading for his family's safe return. But his behavior was unsettling to those around him.
All right, appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks.
Hopefully something comes up here. Yeah.
No.
He's never fidgety. He's never rocking back and forth. And if you look,
Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos. Friends, family, and the public were unnerved by Chris's apparent lack of emotional reaction and his unervingly calm demeanor.
With Shanann, and you're bawling and crying together, and you have not shed one tear in 2 days that you've been here. Not one. And help me understand that, because I don't get it. These are your baby girls.
During interviews, he described an emotional conversation with Shanann about their relationship before she and the kids supposedly left, which raised further suspicions. Authorities closely examined Chris's statements, but it was his neighbor's surveillance footage that would become a key piece of evidence. The camera captured Chris loading something into his truck early on the morning of his family's disappearance, contradicting his story.
he never loads his stuff in and out of the garage ever.
Right.
He doesn't look worried. He looks like he's trying to cover his tracks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if he's loading his stuff, why isn't he walking back and forth? But I can't see what he's doing in the back of the truck because he pulled into the garage. And he knows my camera's there. No, I'm just saying it's kind of odd that he pulls his truck back behind my camera. And he never backs his truck into the driveway. You can ask them, he's normally quiet, real subdued. He's over here telling you 3 times what he took out, what he did. He's very, he never talks. So the fact that he's over here blabbing his mouth makes me kind of suspicious.
The inconsistencies in Chris's story and mounting evidence led authorities to bring him in for questioning. During a polygraph test, Chris's resolve cracked. Confronted with the affair he had been hiding from Shanann and evidence suggesting he was lying, Chris changed his story, claiming that Shanann had killed their daughters in a fit of rage, and in response, he had strangled her.
Polygraph failed it. Nothing happened or anything. There's no thing about it. And then well, no, not her. Your girl. to choke her or? And was he taking all the bodies off or something? I mean, I didn't know what else to do. I didn't freak out. I didn't know nothing else.
This claim was met with skepticism, as detectives believe Chris was trying to deflect responsibility. Faced with overwhelming evidence, Chris eventually confessed to killing Shanann and the girls himself. He admitted to driving Shanann's lifeless body and his 2 daughters, who were still alive, to a remote oil field owned by his employer, Anadarko Petroleum. There, he suffocated Bella and Celeste before disposing of their bodies in oil tanks and burying Shanann in a shallow grave nearby. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos. The investigation revealed even more disturbing details. Chris's motive was tied to his desire to start a new life with his mistress, Nicole Kessinger, who was unaware of the full extent of his marital situation. Chris had led her to believe he was separated from Shanann and was finalizing a divorce. Chris saw his family as an obstacle to his new life, and his solution was to eliminate them entirely. Shanann's autopsy confirmed she was strangled, while Bella and Celeste died of smothering. The graphic details of how Chris snuffed out the lives of his own children were revealed during court proceedings, shocking the nation. Chris's chillingly detached recounting of the murders and his plan to conceal the bodies painted him as a deeply disturbed and cold-hearted individual. During his sentencing hearing, family members shared their anguish. Shanann's parents and brother spoke about the devastating impact of losing their daughter and grandchildren in such a horrific way. The judge, describing the crime as perhaps the most inhumane and vicious crime that I have handled out of the thousands of cases that I have seen, sentenced Chris Watts to 5 life sentences without the possibility of parole. The Watts case continues to resonate due to the brutality of the crime and the contradictions in Chris's seemingly perfect life. The tragedy left the community in Frederick grieving, with neighbors, friends, and even strangers feeling the weight of such an unimaginable act. Every year, candlelight vigils are held in memory of Shanann, Bella, and Celeste, and countless true crime podcasts, documentaries, and reports continue to dissect what drove Chris to such a horrific act. Chris Watts is now serving his sentence in a maximum security prison. He has since expressed regret for his actions, though many find his remorse hollow given the cruelty and betrayal of his actions. The case has become a focal point for discussions about family annihilation and the dark side of seemingly idyllic lives, leaving a lasting scar on all who followed it. This haunting story of betrayal and violence behind closed doors highlights the dangers of hidden desires and deception, serving as a grim reminder that even those closest to us may hold dark secrets. Please subscribe to our channel and make comments about what you think of our videos.